Once again, you know we are live. Welcome to a Friday the 13th. That's right, I told you, don't be scared. Don't be worried. Me and AOH are here with another one. The Zada video footage. Once again, shout out to all you guys. AOH, say what's up to the people, man.
What is up, people? And Robin is hosting. I'm a guest on his show today. So a little nice switch up, and good to be here. Thanks for having me, Robin. Yeah, I've been chomping at the bit to complain, and here's a good chance for me to complain.
Absolutely, man. My man AOH hit me up a little while ago and was like, yo, you still going live? And I was like, yeah, I'm going live. He was like, can I join? And I was like, hell yeah, you could join. And I was hoping I would get someone to join me tonight. And my man AOH came through. So once again, shout out to everybody that continues to come through and support our live shows. It really means a lot. Like I said, man, we can hit you guys with a Friday the 13th edition. You guys know what it's about. There's some things we want to talk about. You guys know how we do on the live shows. We talk about anything and everything. Shout out to Chase 1738 for coming through. Jordan Stopper 82. Callie Young, what up? West Side 9032. The bum not top 50, he says. Shout out to Renee Lynetta 402, always there holding us down. Shout out to Jimmy James. What's going on, Jimmy James? Thank you for coming through. Jimmy? Howdy. Shout out to you. Anthony Sanchez, what's going on? Savvy, shout out to you. You guys know the deal. Shout out to my man Somos Banditos, always coming through. Like I said, I always see the true supporters out here. Bandhead, Black Mamba, Chris Garcia. Once again, old school NBA fan, always in the house. You know, stopping the lies and the narrative. Shout out to my man Chip Ferguson. Chip, what up? Shout out to you. Candle God, J-Rock's Music, TG, The Last Statue, Wes Warden, Six Dig. What up to you? Shout out 10-1 Love, Scott N, Mark Wards. Yo, all you guys continue to come through. Fancy, Davion, Big Brazy. Man, we got mad people in here. Conga Hydra, MJ Adams. You guys know the deal, man. Let's roll. Shout out to my man Howard Hollis.
We got to get you a little theme song. It felt empty without a little intro music. We got to get you yours.
I mean, listen, I usually have my own intro that I do. I didn't want to do my own little intro when I do on my own shows, on my own videos with my man AOH here. But you're right. It would be good to get maybe a little, intro music coming in. Once again, man, like I said, shout out to my man AOH for coming through.
Happy to be here. I'm going to let you keep the reins. I know you want to talk about the this absurd triple double, and then I've been wanting to talk about the Kevin Durant nonsense. They're both great topics, and I'm sure they're going to overlap. So go ahead, take it away. I'll follow.
I mean, listen. You know how we do, AOH, and everybody out there. You guys know how I do on these live shows. All right, there's really no structure here, and like I told you, a lot of times there are certain things I want to talk about, and for some reason, I seem to never be able to get to the topics that I want to talk about in these live shows because either I'm answering a question that someone brought up in the chat, or like I said, I'm answering some of the supers that come through, or I just go off on one of my rambling rants, and I end up going down a path and down a whole avenue, and I never get back to the point that I wanted to talk about or the topics I wanted to touch on. But we definitely must start with the triple-double that they celebrated for LeBron James last night against the Dallas Mavericks. We have to start with that because, listen, if LeBron James would have went out there and got an authentic, legit triple-double, and we would give LeBron James his credit, there would be nothing to talk about today. There would be nothing to talk about at all. But unfortunately, like I've been saying, the longer LeBron James continues to be out here, AOH, these are the moments that we get. We get LeBron James in the game in the fourth quarter when the Lakers are up double digits against a lowly Mavs team that doesn't even have their best player on the court. And AOH, this man stayed in for 10 minutes and 45 seconds. He did not come out until 1 minute and 45 seconds left in the damn game. Are you kidding me?
I want to get Karl Malone's game when he previously held it. I want to see how it compares. I want to see the type of game. I want to see how close it was. I want to see the quality.
I broke it down, AOH. I talked about it in my video.
You had the game? You have a link to the game?
Well, no, I didn't put the game out, but I talked about the actual game itself and what Karl Malone did in that game in comparison to LeBron James. In that game, the Los Angeles Lakers were playing against the San Antonio Spurs, the number 1 defensive team. In that game, the Lakers blew out the San Antonio Spurs. So that was the funny thing about this game, is that Karl Malone had 10 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists. He had 1 turnover, 4 for 9 shooting. I think he had 3 offensive rebounds, and the Lakers won that game by over 20 points. However, I talked about the point I was making is that Karl Malone in that game did not play the entire fourth quarter. And why didn't he play the entire fourth quarter? Because it was a blowout victory for the Lakers over the San Antonio Spurs. And once again, the San Antonio Spurs, who were the defending champions that season. This is not the lowly Dallas Mavericks with 19 wins. And like I said, without their best player. This was a San Antonio Spurs team that was the defending champions that had beat the Lakers the previous season. So you have a team like the Lakers going out there stomping on the San Antonio Spurs in that particular game, and Karl Malone getting an actual true authentic triple-double in the course of just playing the game. And I thought it was very interesting that Karl Malone, who's not known for his passing or playmaking skills like LeBron James is, was able to get 10 assists in that game and only had 1 turnover. Even though they've been celebrating LeBron James 10 assist games, I just put a post on my channel. ESPN just put out a couple of hours ago. LeBron James are saying, celebrating LeBron James 4 straight games with 10 plus assists, right? They're celebrating this. And I said, okay, LeBron James is averaging 10 assists per game over the last 4 games, but he's also averaging 5 turnovers per game over the last 4 games. But they won't tell you that.
Now tell me if Karl Malone in the third period was yelling at teammates who were grabbing rebounds. I can't believe that shit, dude. I only recently saw those clips of him getting mad at Austin Reeves. I'm like, oh.
Exactly. So
what are we celebrating, people? Does context matter to anyone? You LeBron fans just sit there and wait for a fucking meaningless headline. I mean, we're all making fun of what's happening, and ESPN puts out LeBron's historic night.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, what could have possibly happened this time? I'm like, oh, and a meaningless triple-double in a blowout.
Yep.
With the fucking rebounds landing in his lap. And him getting mad at when teammates dare to get those rebounds. But, Austin Reeves does know better. I mean, Austin Reeves has gotten out of the way or even, made sure he's boxed out for LeBron James to get these stats. You think Reeves has finally, had it? You think this is a little retaliation coming from Austin Reeves? What are we talking about? Austin Reeves is retaliating by getting a rebound.
I was just about to say, I think that's just Austin Reeves playing basketball.
Oh, man. Shit's weird now.
I mean, you can't play basketball and be LeBron James' teammate. That can't be your first and foremost thought. It can't be competing and playing basketball and trying to win. It has to be, wait a second, what's LeBron James' situation looking like statistically? Does he have 20 points yet? Does he have double-digit rebounds or double-digit assists? We have to make sure that LeBron James has a good field goal percentage, right? We have to make sure that we catch the passes LeBron James throws to us so that he doesn't get a turnover, right? We have to make sure we do all these things for LeBron James so that he's looking good at all times. And that's what you saw in that moment when LeBron James goes to the bench and Austin Reeves, who's slapping, he's actually over there giving everybody a high fives. He's like, yeah, we're winning the game. I just got a rebound. Everyone's looking good. And all of a sudden he realizes, he sits down, he looks over LeBron James, and you can lip read it. You visibly can read him say, oh, my bad, Bron. And then you see LeBron James say, yo, don't worry about it. He says, my bad, Bron. Or he says, my bad about getting a rebound. My bad. I'm just hustling. My fault. I forgot you had 9 rebounds. AOH, this man stayed in the game for 10 minutes of the fourth quarter It was 120 to 100 when he got the third. He needed 3 rebounds in the fourth quarter. That's what he needed for the triple-double. He needed 3 rebounds, all right? And in the fourth quarter, he went out there and went 2 for 7 from the field. Of course, he had to take 20 shots, the most shots on the team again, LeBron James. So he had to go there and chuck the shots up because he's always looking for more points. Why not score more points? You're the all-time leader in points. Just keep scoring points. And he had to go again to get those 3 rebounds. And when Austin Reeves got that rebound, there was 3 minutes and 33 seconds left to go in the game. And he got that rebound. And he was 1 rebound short. When LeBron James got that 1 rebound, the score was 120 to 100 with 2 minutes and 5 freaking seconds left in the game. And you want to bring up Karl Malone and you want to praise and celebrate a bogus, fraudulent triple-double? I don't understand where we are. Like, where's the integrity of the game right there?
There isn't any. And when we're laughing about the absurdity of this, and then as I'm looking for footage to use to make fun of this shit, I'm going through all these channels that are getting a paycheck for celebrating it. And it's like, and I don't, it's like, which is it? Is it people who actually do know better, but don't care because they have no integrity? Or are they just so like gone? This is what basketball, I mean, LeBron James has been around for a long time. Maybe this is just what people think basketball is, and they think that they should be celebrating it and don't even understand that context matters when you're accomplishing something, when you're getting these achievements. I mean, these age things, when Robin and I do our next show, we're going to celebrate that I was the oldest guy on the podcast, and we're going to do it every single fucking show. Okay. And I'm going to be the guy. I'm going to be the oldest guy on the podcast that cussed the most times.
Oh my goodness!
It'll be historic, people. Every single show is going to be historic.
That is so funny. Yo, shout out to Davion for coming through with the super. He says, "Did y'all know All-Star Weekend began? I didn't." And you know what's funny about that? That's a great comment. Because I was actually just talking with my wife earlier before I came on the show about All-Star Weekend. And now All-Star Weekend is this weekend. And it doesn't even seem like people are hyped up that it's a thing. We've talked about this, and we're going to talk about this later with the Kevin Durant comments of the All-Star game and stuff like this. But this is the kind of stuff that we talked about. Like the comment says, you didn't even know it was the All-Star Weekend. It wasn't like back in the day. You knew when NBA All-Star Weekend was coming. Everybody knew when NBA All-Star Weekend was coming. It was like a thing, man. You know what I'm saying? It really was, and now it's not.
I wouldn't have been surprised if LeBron James in the post-game interview pretended like he didn't know and that these things don't matter very much to him while he's like sweating his teammate to make sure that he gets his triple-double. I mean, the guy's so full of shit. I wouldn't have been surprised if he didn't, like, when somebody interviewed him about it, he'd be like, oh, I don't know, man. I didn't even know. Wow. I did. Wow. Tell me more about my new accomplishment.
No, but that's exactly what they do. Me. Every time you listen to him, he gets those kind of questions, right? He'll be like, I don't know how I'm doing it. They're like, yeah, LeBron, how do you do it? I don't know how I do it. Never knows. I don't know. Nobody knows. He's just out there doing it. Oh, man. Some of the questions they asked LeBron James after these games, I did a video today that talked about how LeBron James, they were asking him about the triple-double because, again, they're celebrating him at 41 years old, the oldest player in NBA's history with a triple-double. I told you, they celebrate LeBron James for mediocrity. Like, who cares? You know what I said in my video with Karl Malone? I didn't even know Karl Malone had a triple-double at 40 years old. I had no clue.
Point. That is a great point.
Said that LeBron James passed Karl Malone I was like, Karl Malone. I said in my video, I became more impressed with Karl Malone. I was like, you know what? That's actually pretty damn impressive because when I looked into it and you think about it, Karl Malone's longevity is actually more impressive than LeBron James. It's actually more legit because Karl Malone did not win his first MVP until he was 33 years old. LeBron James never even won an MVP in his 30s. Karl Malone won 2 in his 30s. And Karl Malone did not even get his first triple-double until he was 32. So I believe he has 4 or 5 triple-doubles in his career. And they all came after he was 30. And that last one came at 40. So when they mentioned Karl Malone's name, I did not expect to hear Karl Malone as the last 40-year-old with a triple-double. But it was Karl Malone, so shout out to Karl Malone.
Shout out to Karl Malone. And you know another difference? When Karl Malone got hurt, it hurt the Laker team.
Right.
Now, if LeBron James would get hurt, it would help the Laker team.
That's a great point, AOH. Fantastic point.
Karl was ripped too. He wasn't, I mean, he was yoked, but he was also ripped at 40. Like, yeah. I remember thinking he and Shaq must be the two biggest dudes in the league on the same team.
No, you're right. I mean, listen, Karl Malone kept himself in legit shape. You know, that was, see, and
how come we didn't hear every single goddamn day, oh, what Karl Malone's doing at this age? How does he look? How is he staying in this conditioning? No, we didn't have to suffer through this shit. We just watched basketball.
Yep.
It used to be entertaining to watch basketball. You didn't have to have your head filled with all this goddamn drama and nonsense.
Exactly, AOH. No, you're around the money with that stuff. When you see, when you bring up Karl Malone and you're saying, oh, Karl Malone was in shape, Karl Malone was, this, you're not just saying that because you feel like pumping up Karl Malone and be like, oh, you're living with some nostalgia. No, because why can we say this? And what's the proof behind what we're saying? The proof is behind Karl Malone showing up to work every single night. Karl Malone's in the lineup. Look at the 82-game season on the Karl Malone's resume. This man was there every night. So not only do we say Karl Malone was jacked, and we say Karl Malone was in shape, Karl Malone worked out like that, you saw the results. It was tangible. He was there on the court alongside John Stockton. That's why they were a formidable duo, because they were there. You can't be a formidable duo if you're never there. And Karl Malone was there, and he gave effort. He was a tough, nasty guy on the court. This guy was swinging elbows out there. You don't want to go down low with Karl Malone, man. So like I said, when I found out it was Karl Malone that got a triple-double at 40 years old, and he had one turnover while doing so, when LeBron James out there averaging 5 turnovers a game doing this stuff, I was more impressed with Karl Malone than LeBron James. And he did it in 3 quarters against the number 1 defense, San Antonio Spurs. And Duncan played in the game. Everybody played that damn game. All right?
Yeah, that's right. Nobody was even playing in the Dallas game.
Nobody. They don't have their best players. Oh, there's no more Anthony Davis. Kyrie Irving's been out all season, and Cooper Flag went down, unfortunately.
I actually don't want to hear from any fanboys, but I can't help but wonder if you even understand that staying in the game in a blowout is bad by itself, but staying in to get stats. I mean, it's like you aren't earning the stats. You are destroying everything that stats and records ever meant. Like, it's all meaningless now. Thank you very much. And thank you, NBA media, for continuing to celebrate it. As if these guys don't know, as if they can't see for themselves, as if in the back of their minds they're like, my God, this fucking guy's really staying in the game again. There's no way they aren't thinking, wow, he's really going to do this again. After, by the way, sitting out, of course, with managing ankle soreness against a tough team. Hey, I feel better. Shitty team alert. Ankle healed. And I understand the other one was a back-to-back. God forbid professional athletes play basketball twice in 2 days. I mean, I did a video in my members section. People, this is the brainwashing taking place, Robin. They actually now think that it's unreasonable to play back-to-backs. Like, oh, of course. Oh, okay. Well, it's okay because it was a back-to-back. Listen, if you're going to promote yourself as still having it and still playing at a high level and being an important part of your team, then show some courage and be there when things are rough for your team, not when it's easy. That's cowardly. There's nothing courageous about that. Hey, LeBron, if your fucking ankle was actually sore, play on your sore ankle and help your team against a good team. They're going to need you. If in fact you were good. Of course, he's not good. So it's just a weird theoretical conversation that we're having here. We're so far from reality that I'm talking a different layer of falsehood inside of another layer of falsehood.
That's who we are now. The same guy that, like you said, AOH, he'll be out one night with a sore arthritic foot that he's managing. Remember, they use those terms. He's managing this stuff. He's dealing with this. But then, like you said, he'll be in the game in the fourth quarter with his Lakers up by 20 when he shouldn't be in there. So the promotion of LeBron James is that he's dealing with these certain kinds of things. And yet, when we watch the video footage, LeBron James he'll run after those dunks. Whenever he gets opportunity for a cherry pick dunk, that foot looks fantastic. LeBron James, and they'll celebrate that. They'll say, oh my God, remember Reggie Miller jumped. He jumped all over.
Don't remind me.
I mean, this is what Reggie Miller was throwing himself like a rag doll because LeBron James got an alley-oop dunk. So if you're going to act that way one night for one play, then you can't turn around and talk about, well, LeBron James is 41 years old and he has to sit out the back-to-backs and we have to stop doing shoot-around now? We have to stop shoot-around. And remember, they said, how could we expect a 40-year-old person to be on his feet? I mean, I don't even understand the things that we're saying out here. All of a sudden, I feel at my age, my advanced age of 45, my God, I should be geriatric.
I'm on my feet right now, man. Oh, shit. So are you. How are you doing this? How are you doing this?
We're stopping shoot-around for a professional athlete? I mean, once again, I'm not comparing myself to a professional, to LeBron James. What I'm comparing is the lack of standard. I mean, I feel like I hold myself to a higher standard than when we're actually holding the actually professional athletes to. We're actually acting like these guys are everyday normal people. Oh, LeBron James, 41. 41 for a professional athlete who spends millions on his body, who you celebrate for being the most in shape athlete ever. It can't be both ways. You can't be, oh, LeBron James is old. And then, oh, he's old for this. Oh, come on, man. But they'll use the minutes. Oh, he's playing all these minutes. We've seen the minutes. AOH, you've highlighted the minutes. The minutes is this. These are the minutes now. This is what we get on the bet. You get this from LeBron James. Standing there. This is what you get from LeBron James. Hey! Those are the minutes.
I gotta rant about Kevin Durant.
Yeah, we're going to rant about Kevin. Let's read off our praise to Don coming through with the super, and then we'll go into Kevin Durant's comments because I know you definitely got some stuff you want to say. Go. Can you see that comment? You want to read praise to Don?
Okay. They never brought up age. Then when it came to Malone and Kareem, all of a sudden they care so much about longevity when it comes to LeBron. Fuck this dude. Thank you very much. Praise the Dawn with the super chat.
Yeah, for real. Shout out to praise Don.
I have an example of a game in which, and I was just watching it, and I wasn't because of, old basketball is enjoyable. So I was watching an old basketball game, and Michael Jordan passed Kareem in playoff points or something. And they mentioned it. And then they kept, just continue with business.
I remember that.
Do you know what they would have done now with a goddamn parade and just bring out a cake in the middle of the basketball floor and stop the game? They didn't even stop the game, man.
I know. Like I said, it just happened during the game, in the course of the game, and they went along with it, moved on with it. Now, like you said, every moment has to be celebrated. They have to stop the game. Everything's a spectacle, and it's for nothing. Like we said earlier, like the last comment said, they never talked or celebrated the age for some of these other guys. Like I mentioned, I didn't even know Karl Malone had a triple-double at 40. No one freaking knew this stuff. No one gave a damn. Karl Malone got a triple-double in a freaking blowout game and gained like 1,100 of his career. No one gave a damn about it. But when LeBron James gets it, they tell you he just passed Karl Malone. I don't know who Karl Malone passed. Who did he pass for the oldest player to have a triple-double? Can anyone tell me who Karl Malone passed in 2004 for the oldest player with a triple-double? I would love to know that because no one knows, no one freaking cares because it's not important. Wake me up when LeBron James is the oldest finals MVP. That would be impressive. If LeBron James was a 41-year-old out there leading a team that was a contender, legit contender, and he's leading that team, he's not negative on the basketball court, and LeBron James was finals MVP at 41 years old, I would be impressed with that. But you know what? That's not happening.
Well, don't jinx us, dude, because every year they keep separating
happening,
fans
AOH.
from reality. I mean, look at the things that we celebrate. Look at everybody's now just supposed to accept that LeBron James was given um, an All NBA spot or in an All Star spot because he might retire, which we all know he's not going to. So that's a bullshit excuse in the first place. But man, somebody got me really concerned that they're actually going to give LeBron James the All-Star MVP this year. And I was like, you know what? If this whole thing is really a script and he's going back to Cleveland, why not just give him the Finals MVP there too? Even if he even if he was pretty much doing everything from the bench. Because this is where we are. If he sits out a game, if he's eating food on the sideline, but he yells at somebody, they're like, "Oh, LeBron inspired the team to win."
It was his voice. His voice led them to the victory.
Trey, I'm sure you are. Thank God you are. But to be fair, that's not saying much. But I'm glad you're more mature than LeBron. Thank God you are. Good. Good.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's like, see, and that's what I'm trying to tell people, the LeBron James supporters out there. If this is the person that you're supporting, this is the guy that you're behind, you need to look yourself in the mirror. Look yourself in the mirror. Because LeBron James is not the kind of person, like I said, you want to try to take something from. Because what you get from LeBron James is everything that he does, you can see, it all has to go back to what he gets from it. Everything. That's why you have 1 billion trades in your career. I mean, think about it. The man's been in LA for 8 or 9 years now, and he's had 4 coaches. I mean, if that doesn't show you what kind of person LeBron James is, then I don't know what does. Because everywhere
I
he
think
goes,
they're paying 3 of them still.
I mean, no, thank you, AOH. Great point.
I'm serious, man.
All them coaches. That's like one coach every 2 seasons.
A couple of people with their content I was watching, and LeBron James was answering. It was the press conference where he whined about the Lakers not being contenders. And I'm like, yeah, no shit. That's why the Lakers didn't give you an extension. They want to be contenders. But he found a way to complain during the interview. But the other thing was he looked like a kid with a snotty face, and he just kept going like this the entire time. And he was sticking his fingers in his eyes and his mouth and the entire time. And I'm like, I really feel like I'm looking at a 5-year-old. I'm like, dude, you are being spoken to. Act like a goddamn adult. Look at the person speaking to you and answer with a clear voice without fucking rubbing your face as if you have a booger you're trying to get rid of. And this went into me talking about Kevin Durant, and every single one of them, they get that microphone in front of them, and it's time to be immature.
Yep.
It's time to be immature. Speak like a man. You're being spoken to they're not knocking on your door at 5 a.m. surprising you and waking you up. You are in front of a microphone at a podium. And all Kevin Durant can do is say, well, why don't you go ask them? No, you're there. You're there. They're asking you because you're fucking there, dipshit. Of course you should answer for yourself. Maybe they will go ask them later on. But
We're fired up.
You're an old head, and they're asking about the effort of old heads. What is unreasonable about that question? But this is the strategy, and you were ranting about this, and you're thinking about everybody's a victim, and everybody's got something to complain about, and everybody's got a way out. What he did immediately there was play the victim card. Immediately, it was, oh, I'm being picked on. Why don't you go pick on them? He wasn't even being picked on. There's nothing wrong with that question at all. Now, you told me that people are claiming that he's just trolling and that it was funny.
Well, like I said, I've seen some of the Kevin Durant supporters out there saying that, like I said, see, Kevin Durant he's gotten a lot of credit, or he's been allowed to come at the fans in a degree, in a manner that not many people have been able to get away with, And they use it as that example that Kevin Durant's a troll, or that he says witty things back to people, or that he says funny things back, or he's giving people, what they're giving him, and he's throwing it right back at them. Good for Kevin Durant. And to me, that's laughable because, like I've said, Kevin Durant, like you've said, like you're just saying right now, in a lot of these instances or scenarios where he's having these interactions with people on Twitter or X or, Instagram or whatever he's having these interactions with, he seems to not understand, or he makes it as if the people are talking about him personally.
Right.
And what they're talking about is his career. And they're talking about what he did in his career, his basketball career. And they're once again talking about they don't respect his championships or his fraudulent finals MVPs. Those are the points that they've made. And we know Kevin Durant doesn't like that kind of stuff. But Kevin Durant comes back at the fans with personal attacks. He starts talking to people as if he knows who they are personally. And it's just, I said, to me, it doesn't make any sense because, like I said, when you're talking about your career and then you have these kinds of interactions, this is where Kevin Durant starts to, like I said, look like a fool.
Oh, and since he's so concerned about what people think, then we can hope that he's going to see this. And Kevin Durant, if you're listening, you're a soft bitch. You're a soft, sensitive, insecure bitch. Grow up. Grow up. And no, I'm not scared of your fucking 7-foot skeleton ass.
Yo, shout to the lowly one coming through with the super.
So we got a Warrior fan in here who says he has mixed feelings. Let's understand that Kevin Durant wasn't on the microphone the way back then, the way he is now.
Oh, that's funny, man.
He shut LeBron down, and he did it with his basketball game. It wasn't Podcastville back then,
Right.
And it wasn't Kevin Durant now realizing, hey, I can be as stupid as I want to be, and they'll just keep putting a microphone in front of me. He to combat what the Kevin Durant fans are defending him with, I heard him in that interview later on go, I can read between the lines. I'm like, which lines? They asked you if the old heads were going to give effort. You decided to think that meant something else. There's no other line. You should be asked whether or not you're going to give it. Isn't everybody wondering? If this is actually going to work? Because I actually wondered. I was like, is this actually finally going to make them try? Because they'll be butthurt if they lose to the Europeans. Will this actually finally do it? Or will it be a case of we're too cool to try because we're actually afraid of getting our asses kicked by the Europeans? Oh, let me go answer my phone. you know, the guys getting their asses kicked on the basketball court.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to go check my phone.
No, but that's a good question, AOH.
Which is it, everybody? What do you guys think? Do you think this is actually going to get them to try? And by the way, according to Kevin Durant, he's always been locked in. And so has LeBron. LeBron was really locked in the All-Star game last year.
Yeah, he was. He was
I have a quick reminder for
everyone.
LeBron James was shot chucking in 2024, missing all these 3-pointers. And I think that he came out thinking, because he was still so full of himself and people wouldn't stop talking about his age. I think that he was hoping to go out and get the All-Star MVP that game, 2024. And he was missing his shots. And so then he gave up and sat out most of the second half. But he came out firing threes. It wasn't a case of, oh, LeBron James is locked in. No, he was firing up stupid shots. Because he again was playing for himself.
Exactly. No, I mean,
so man, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, shout to my man Jordan versus Braun for coming through the chat. Once again, shout to all you guys coming through. I saw my man Dallas, old supporter of our channels.
Dallas Rockmore.
Yeah,
I don't know how to
shout out to him for coming through. Like I said, man, shout out to all you guys out there in the chat. I see you guys. No, yeah, go ahead, Airways. Keep going.
Well, you said that Kevin Durant's comments were so bad, you almost wondered if he was racist.
No, I said he borderline racist, and I said
No?
that's how he's coming off to me because, like I said, his comments seem that way.
Well, he did very specifically point out 2 people. I mean, and it was immediate. It was like he's been chomping at the bit to say something.
Yeah.
But there's another aspect, and I know other content creators have already talked about this, and I'm sure you talked about it. But you guys, why would the foreigners or the newcomers, or however you want to put it, why would they be the ones to set the tone? You're the old head. You're the United States basketball player. Why on earth would you ever use that opportunity in that interview to say, go ask them, instead of say, yeah, we're going to bring it and we're going to beat their asses? That's what he should have said.
Yep.
That's what, I mean, if he had any actual confidence in himself. Why, it made me think about, like, if I was showing up to play in someone else's country and maybe they play a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm going to kind of like be like, let them take the lead. And I'm not trying to make an excuse for the Jokic or Luka or anything, but like, it's weird to say that the new guys, because they're actually fairly new to the All-Star game, as you pointed out and Uncut Hoops has pointed out. This shit's been tanking for a long time.
Yep.
Why would guys that are just like trying to get a feel for it be the ones to set the tone? If anything, you made them think that, oh, that's how we play the All-Star game. They thought, oh, this is just a joke. Maybe we're supposed to joke around. Yep. And you also, he said that they lay down on the floor. And just like you, I thought, well, I remember Steph Curry doing that. I can't specifically remember Jokic or Luka doing it, but I'm pretty sure Steph was making a point that he understands that the All-Star game has become a joke. And it's like, I might as well just lay down in order to fully embrace that it has become a joke. And yes, I saw Luka and Jokic goofing around. Everybody out there goofed around. Yep. Anyway, that was a very long ramble with the question of, why would the new guys be the ones to set the tone? Why wouldn't you set the tone and make them match that tone? No, and is it reasonable? And is it reasonable for me to think that they were looking to the NBA players to understand how you're supposed to play the All-Star game? I mean, they really, truly could have put in their minds that you're not supposed to take it seriously. That's how bad NBA All-Star games had become. Like, if you walked into it for the first time and you're looking at the guys out there, you're like, oh, I'm not supposed to take this seriously. That's what their body language was teaching people.
Right.
Anyway, that sounds like I'm making excuses for them. That's not my goal, but I do think I have some reasonable questions.
No, absolutely, AOH. I mean, you hit on a bunch of points there. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of things that I think that we have to unpack here when it comes to the All-Star game. Once again, it's All-Star weekend. And we mentioned earlier, people forgot. No one even realizes it's All-Star weekend. It's All-Star weekend. I think the NBA, the All-Star weekend celebrity game is on right now, I believe. So this is All-Star weekend, and no one really even cares. It doesn't have the cachet anymore. And Kevin Durant and a lot of these guys, like I said, you're taking zero accountability for this. Now, when you talk about, Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic, he mentioned their names specifically, like you mentioned. He also said Europeans. So essentially what he's doing is all of the world players are Europeans to him, and everyone is lumped into that group. You're a foreigner, you're not American. So the problem for Kevin Durant that I mentioned in my video is that the Americans, someone like Kevin Durant, we've lost our pride. Where's the pride in America? Like you said, AOH, this is supposed to be an opportunity for the Americans to show the foreigners, right? You show you guys how we do it here, but they should have already been doing this. So like you mentioned, the point that I was talking and I made in my video is that how could you blame Luka Doncic or Nikola Jokic individually by name when Luka Doncic never made an All-Star game till 2020? The All-Star game was already going down for years by that point. You're blaming Luka Doncic because he started his first All-Star game in 2020? Nikola Jokic, when was his first All-Star game? 2019. And we're going to blame Nikola Jokic? The All-Star game was going down for years before this. but we're going to blame them dudes. We're going to blame the quote-unquote Europeans on American problems. This is what we're doing now in America. We're blaming everyone for our problems. We screwed it up. We jacked it up. And now we want to point the finger at them dudes over there and say they messed the All-Star game up. What does Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic have to do with the lack of effort being given out there from LeBron James? What's it going to do with LeBron James not doing the slam dunk contest all those years ago? The All-Star game lack of competitiveness when Kobe Bryant was coming after LeBron James and he didn't want to go out there and go against Kobe. Luka Doncic wasn't nowhere around. Nikola Jokic, they were nowhere around. That's LeBron James. That's when things started going downhill.
Let's pretend, just for the sake of argument, that it was the Europeans or foreigners, all the other different countries. As you pointed out, it's not just Europeans. Yep. Let's say that they did bring a lack of effort into the All-Star game. Yep. Okay, so where does that leave you, old heads? You have to follow that lead? I mean, even if it was their fault, what, you're helpless? Beat their asses then if they aren't going to take it seriously. I mean, you keep crushing the other team, they're going to get laughed off the court or get their shit together. Set the tone, Kevin Durant. Stop telling reporters to go pick on somebody else. And I got to get a slam in against Stephen A. Smith because he responded to this. And of course, I mean, for the most part, he was anti what Kevin Durant said, but he did what he always did. He had to give service to Kevin Durant for a good full minute before saying anything else. Sometimes it's not appropriate to give a compliment. Not every single time you talk about somebody do they deserve to be complimented for a while before you talk about him. When he's acting like a freaking child and telling lies. And by the way, he is acting like a clutch plant. Like his response, him specifically blaming Luka and Jokic while saying that Durant and LeBron are locked in. Dude, again, as everybody says, do they not understand that we have video footage of what they look like? We know LeBron isn't locked in, idiot. And why has Kevin Durant all of a sudden started dropping so many LeBron James compliments? It's kind of a redundant question. We all know the answer.
I mean, what's crazy is that when LeBron James and a lot of these guys, Kevin Durant, a lot of people talk about the game from back in the 80s or the 90s, specifically, they act as if there were zero foreigners, quote unquote foreigners or Europeans in the NBA then. There were no foreigners. Michael Jordan played against all American guys from a small pool of two guys. It was an expansion era. They didn't have I told you, man, they really act like my dad could have walked off the street and went to the NBA. So when we think about those kinds of things, and once again, I shout out to you guys in the checks. I see you guys bringing up some of the stuff that we're talking about. You guys are saying some of the similar things. When you think about some of the players, like a Deadlift Shrimp, for example, who was from Germany, right? Or Vlade Divac, who was a foreign player, or Drazen Petrovic, who was a foreign player. These are guys that came from other leagues, or Tony Kukoc, that made all-star teams, right? That played in all-star games in America with Americans in the NBA. And did they go to the game and lay down on the floor? Did they go out there and chuck up half-court shots? Did they go out there and goof it up? Did they go out there and act like a bunch of big goofs? No, because that was not the atmosphere. That was not the setting. That was not the demeanor, and that was not the feel and the approach of the players in the All-Star game. When I watched the All-Star game growing up, guys, there was a running theme. These guys were going to compete. They were going to play a certain level until that fourth quarter came around. When that fourth quarter came around, it was like Game 7 of the NBA Finals out there in the All-Star game. These dudes was trying to win them games. They was trying to win them All-Star games. Some of the All-Star games were blowouts. Didn't mean it wasn't great. 1992 was a blowout. Western Conference blew out the Eastern Conference, but to this day, it's still my favorite All-Star game of all time when Magic Johnson won that MVP in a blowout. It didn't matter, though, the score, because it was still fun and competitive. It was still entertaining. They still put on a damn show. There's no show anymore. Where's the freaking show? Where is the show? Show me something. You're not showing me nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing left. Not a damn thing.
I'll tell you what's left. Race. Now we got There's no competition left. So now Adam Silver's dipping into the division market because, you know, as you pointed out, and I thought about this a lot, we didn't get told all the time, oh, look at the foreigners on the court. Guess what? They were there. And if they were good enough to play, then they were playing. And you didn't get fucking reminded all day long that there were foreigners on the court. You know, it wasn't a thing. It wasn't an issue. And all of a sudden it's an issue. And all of a sudden the last few years, I hear all the time about, oh, the Europeans or, oh, the foreigners. And will the USA be able to keep up? It's like, if you keep bringing it up all the time, people are going to start thinking it's something that they need to be worried about. And we wouldn't really be worried about it if the U.S. players were playing at the level that they should be playing at. But it's, where do we go from here, though, if, in fact, everybody's starting to tune in based on the division, us versus them? It's not much further to go before race does enter the picture. White basketball versus black basketball. Oh, we got to, you know, those guys over there, those damned Europeans. I know you said Kevin is only borderline, but I don't know, man. It all started spinning in my head. I'm like, why are we constantly being told that we should be worried about these European players and these foreign players? They've been in the league for a very long time. Sure, there's more, but there's more of everybody now.
No, like you said, that should go to the pride. Where's the pride then? Why are you threatened by the European players? If you feel threatened by the European players, a Giannis Antetokounmpo, a Luka Doncic, or Nikola Jokic, you know, I guess you're going to have to include an SGA. He's Canadian, so I guess he's European. So, you know, all these guys, you feel threatened by them because of their game, their skills, whatever the case may be. Okay, so then why don't you guys do something about that? Why don't you guys be the big bad Americans? Why don't you guys go out there and show them, yeah, this is America, Jack. You can't just come up in here and think y'all gonna come out here and be a bunch of goofballs. That's not what works. I told this story in the video of Tony Kukoc talking about his experience against the Dream Team in 1992 as a young player and how the guys in the locker room, they came up to him and was like, yo, what did you do to these guys? Remember, Jordan and Pippen took it personal? Tony Kukoc had no idea. He had no idea those guys were taking it personal against him. He didn't know this stuff, but they asked him in the locker room, yo, what the hell did you do to these guys? Why are they all over you? Did Tony Kukoc turn around and say, because they're black? Oh, well, you know, that's how black guys play basketball, man. They're crazy out there. No, Tony Kukoc said, I guess that's how they play basketball in the NBA. He didn't think it was because they're black. Oh, we're white, they're black, we're European, they're not. That's how the black guys play basketball. I guess we didn't know that. Well, now we do know. No, he thought that was the NBA. He thought that was the American way of playing basketball. Because, damn it, that's how we used to represent. Now, we don't represent. Now you got Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, all these guys coming here telling us how weak the league is. Oh, y'all soft over here. The Euro League is tougher than y'all over here. They would have never said that about the 90s. They would have never said that about the 2000s or the guys in the 80s and this. They would have never said this stuff because it wasn't true.
Such a good point about how he responded. It didn't even enter his mind to put it that way.
Damn black guys out there all over me. I can't get them off me. The black guys keep hounding me. I didn't know they played basketball like that. Are you kidding me? How good is South Sudan? Them dudes is pretty damn black, and they sucked.
I don't know. They looked pretty good against Team USA.
Yo, shout out to the South Sudan, man. I wasn't trying to disrespect them or anything like that. I'm just making a joke, man, because we've gone off the rails with this race stuff. I mean, think about how the LeBron James fans started this whole thing with the 90s and the 80s. They used to talk about the white guys. Oh, Michael Jordan's going against white guys. White guy. I tell you, LeBron James fans are borderline racist people because, once again, either that or you've never played sports before, like I always tell you. Because anyone that's played sports understands it doesn't matter what color skin somebody freaking is, man. So when you make these comments, oh, Michael Jordan played against Dan Marley, Danny Ainge, and Jeff Horton, those are the only three freaking guys in the entire league, man. I mean, it makes no sense. They don't want to say that Larry Bird was white, right? Larry Bird wasn't a really great player, but he was white. Jerry West wasn't white, but he wasn't great. I mean, I don't understand this stuff. Bob Pettit. I did a video talking about the great white guys in NBA's history, because this is where we are now. And now we're blaming the white European guys on the All-Star game.
You know, it's really interesting. People tell me a lot to go and watch Euroball if I want to see better competition. So how can we be blaming those guys for bringing worse basketball over? I still haven't done it, by the way, so I haven't gone and watched it. I don't know.
I tell people all the time, man, you think the great players gave a damn about the color or the name on the back of the jersey? I told you, the great players didn't give a damn who you were. Remember Larry Bird? They used to make jokes about Larry Bird and Larry Bird's trash talk and what he used to say to players and what he would do. It didn't matter who he was going against. Larry Bird didn't think anybody could guard him. It didn't matter who it was, but they came with the same level of competitiveness. Michael Jordan didn't care if it was Jeff Hornacek or if it was Joe Dumars. It didn't matter if it was Danny Ainge or it was Dennis Rodman. It didn't matter. You were going to bring the same level of effort, the same level of competitiveness. He was going to bring it against John Starks. He was going to bring it against everybody.
I saw somebody mention Rick Barry in the comments. I watched a game with him. He was nastier than I ever realized.
Yeah, for real. No, absolutely, man. These are the guys that don't get. See, when we talk about some of these players and we bring their names up, people be like, oh, that guy was nobody. This guy did this. Oh, look at the way he looked. He shot underhand free throws. They'll make up all these things to explain to you how a guy is not good when they don't even know who he is.
What do you guys in the chat think? Do you think this is damaging? Do you think that this latest attempt by Adam Silver to create interest by pitting Americans and non-Americans against each other is going to lead to further division, such as Kevin Durant calling out people by name? Do you think it's even going to work? Do you think it's going to work in the temporary? Will it be worth it? But if someone in the chat put it, if you have to reduce your product to racial division, then the product is already pretty ass.
Right. Exactly. And that's the truth. Like we said, like, despite, the race stuff that we've talked about, just overall comments from Kevin Durant is weak because, I actually have the comments that he said. And at one point he says that these two dudes don't care about the game at all. And that's when he went on to say that you have guys laying on the floor and shooting up shots from half court. And it's laughable because, once again, when you think about the All-Star game a couple of years ago in Indiana, when Damian Lillard won the All-Star MVP, Damian Lillard is a American. He's an American. And that dude went out there and was chucking up way longer than deeper than half-court shots. That I told you, to me, Damian Lillard's All-Star MVP is the worst All-Star MVP I've ever seen in my life.
I've said that too. I agree absolutely.
The worst one, AOH.
It was so fucking. I wouldn't have even accepted the trophy.
Remember, they booed him. They booed him in Indianapolis. And you know why they booed him in Indianapolis? Because Tyrese Halliburton was actually going to win that All-Star game MVP. I watched every minute of that game. I didn't change the channel. I stayed on it. I watched at halftime, everything. That man, Damian Lillard, went out there and shot Jack to high hell to try to get that All-Star MVP, and they booed that man. They booed him. They booed him.
He deserved it.
Thank you very much. He deserved it. He earned those boos. Remember, I tell people all the time, these guys have earned this. They deserve this. LeBron James, Kevin Durant, a lot of these, Kawhi Leonard. Remember some years ago, and I did a video on this, when Kawhi Leonard came back to San Antonio to play against the San Antonio Spurs, they booed Kawhi Leonard every time he touched the basketball. They booed him so much that Greg Popovich, during a timeout, grabbed the microphone and told the Spurs fans to have some class. He said they weren't being classy because they were booing Kawhi Leonard. And I made a video about Greg Popovich, and I said, I respect Greg Popovich, but this time he is way off on this because Kawhi Leonard, he earned those boos. He
Mm.
earned them. That's what he earned and he deserved. However the Spurs fans wanted to feel about him, they deserve to feel that way about him. If they wanted to boo him every time he touched the basketball, then damn it, they had the right to boo that man. And that's what they were doing. And Popovich wanted to talk about, stop booing him. What's wrong with you guys? Dude, shut the hell up and coach the damn team, you fool. I've never seen a coach do that. A coach told the fans to stop booing a player. Are you kidding? This is how sensitive we are now? We were hurting Kawhi Leonard's feelings. No, damn that man. He's a millionaire. He's going to be all right.
How long was the booing going on for? I'm trying to remember.
Every time he touched the basketball, I think it was the first quarter. And before he came on the microphone and was like, yo, y'all need to stop this. This is getting insane. No, They were just starting.
Oh. Yeah, he could have waited. I mean, listen, a piece of me says, you know what? The right thing to do is to defend somebody who's getting picked on, but he could have at least waited. I didn't know he did it that fast. I don't know. You're right. He deserved it. I don't know. I'm mixed up on it. At least let him suffer for a little while before you step in.
Let the man get booed. Like my man said, Kawhi Leonard didn't care. Did Kawhi Leonard care? I'm sure he didn't care. Who would care? We've seen other great players get booed when they go back to their ex-team or whatever the case may be. We've seen that stuff happen. We see players get booed and heckled when they go to the, visiting arenas where a rival or something like that. How many times we saw Mike Jordan get booed in Madison Square Garden? Or we see Mike Jordan get booed in Indiana? Or we see Mike Jordan get booed in Utah? We see Mike Jordan get booed in Cleveland. One of these places. He gets booed in Detroit. They booed him everywhere sometimes because he's Michael Jordan. But I keep telling people they were booing Michael Jordan out of respect. They boo LeBron James, a lot of these guys out here, out of disgust. They're disgusted with these clowns, and they boo him to high hell.
Since you brought up Michael Jordan and New York, it bugs the hell out of me that the NBA acts like it means something that LeBron plays in New York. Like New York has barely been a basketball team most of the time that LeBron James has been in the league. What is interesting about LeBron James returning to New York? I can't stand how often they try to replicate what was actually of historical significance with Michael Jordan, because man, those Knicks and Bulls games were battles. There's a reason that shit mattered, people. And now you get an announcer comes on and says, it's such a historical event for LeBron whenever he enters the Mecca. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What interesting in history between LeBron James and New York has ever happened other than New York giving them their players when he went back to Cleveland? Here's our young talent. Take it.
Exactly.
What is it? Did it? I mean, I might not be remembering correctly.
No.
You're a New Yorker.
There are no iconic moments. There are nothing. You can't think of anything because there are none.
Yo, AOH, YouTube unsubscribed me from you. Yeah, dude, I hear that all the time. Thank you for noticing. I don't know what to say. I was unsubscribed from you, Robin.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Of course, that was on purpose.
Weird, man. Yo, damn, we got a bunch of supers here. We're way behind.
Yeah, go for it.
Let me read a couple of these off. Yo, shout out to all you guys that continue to come through. I'm sorry that we didn't read your supers earlier. I hope you guys are still around. People who sent the supers in. Shout out to the lowly one. Star players complaining about playing back-to-back games. Meanwhile, common people out here with quote-unquote miserable lives do 40-plus hour work weeks. I know it's hilarious. I tell people, man, these guys, they don't seem to be in touch with reality. But then LeBron James will tell you that he's just a kid from Akron. I'm just a kid from Akron. So he wants you to believe that he still remembers where he's coming from, where he came from, but he don't act like he remembers where he came from. He talks down on the common folks all the time. These guys act like elitists all the time. I mean, my goodness, it's actually disgusting the things that they say about the common people out there. Shout out to the lonely one for coming through. Who else we got here? I seen a couple more here. Shout out to Rick Kramer 4764 coming through with the super. Do you think Reeves and Smart had to sit out the Spurs game so LeBron didn't look bad for ducking Wemby? Thanks, guys. That's actually a good question, man. That seems to be a common theme now. Some of the main stars sitting out, and then some of the secondary guys sitting out with the main star, and then you have nobody out there in the basketball court. But yeah, that could be. They all just sat together to make it look more, maybe not LeBron James stand out. What do you think?
I was getting rid of some trolls.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know. People are saying weird things out there, but I tell you, these are LeBron James fans. They make channels with my face, with my name. I told you, there's a guy out there that made a whole channel, and all of his videos are my videos. That's all it is him playing my videos and reacting to my videos. This is what we talk about with a lot of these people out here. That's why I say, man, some weird people out here doing weird things. And some people out there, like I said, they just, like I said, they're looking for a friend. I get it, man. They want to be friends with Sports and Fitness Rants. They want to be cool with me. They want me to call them or, hang out with them. I get it. What can I say?
Soon you're gonna be able to say what they say. Oh, you're making $1 off of someone else's name. Hey, now they're making $1 off of you. Guys, exactly. Go get your own content. So let's look at this one. This weirdo talking. He keeps copying and pasting Michael Jordan's 3-point performance. You're exactly like Kevin Durant. You don't want to be on topic. You don't want to face the question that was presented to you. You want to go talk about something. You want to go talk about something else, or make people talk about something else. And Robbins talked about Jordan being willing to enter that 3-point contest multiple times. Yep. It was brave, if anything, because that's not what his strong suit was. Certainly braver than LeBron James ducking the dunk contest, for the love of God.
Exactly. There you go. You hit it right in the head. Because really, when the LeBron James fans bring up a Michael Jordan 3-point contest, or they try to use it in the context to clown Michael Jordan, there's really nothing you can bring that up or that would take away from Michael Jordan. Like we mentioned, people know about this. It's a footnote of Michael's career. No one mentions this stuff anymore about anything. Because why? If Michael Jordan would have did the 3-point contest but never did the slam dunk contest, then yes, then we could have clowned Michael Jordan and went out there and be like, this fool Michael Jordan really had the nerve to go out there and do a 3-point contest, but he could have gone out there and beat Air Jordan. How would they have marketed Air Jordans when he did a 3-point contest and never the dunk contest? It wouldn't have worked that way. So we could have clowned Michael Jordan in that regard. However, on the flip side, we think about LeBron James. What did LeBron James do? LeBron James did not do the slam dunk contest, but on the flip side, he did not 1, but 2 skills challenges. You did the skills challenge, but never did a slam dunk contest? Dude, that's what makes you weak.
And listen, those dunk contests, him and Neek, were some iconic moments in history. That was amazing stuff. And as amazing as they were, it's just a little footnote in Michael Jordan's career. He didn't get limited to being considered a dunker because he went out and dominated the dunk contest. No, he continued to kick ass as a basketball player and win. Dude, I'm just noticing that these guys with different accounts are copying and pasting the same thing. These are just like robot people now. You are so upset. Your life is so limited that you defend a person who is a fraud. LeBron James is a fraudulent human being, and you spend your time defending a fraud to such an extent that you're over here creating bot accounts to try and say mean things about somebody who tells the truth. I don't understand these cults. I don't understand how they get wrapped in there and just no matter what, don't want to ever
what's funny about this, AOH? These are the kinds of moments that highlight how phony and fraudulent LeBron James fan base really is. Because when you think about a lot of these people that you're talking about, a lot of these channels, right? A lot of LeBron James quote-unquote supporters, his fans, this is who they are. They're not real people. They're bots. So when you look at LeBron James supporters on Instagram or Twitter, and it says he has 50 million or 100 million subscribers or followers or supporters, whatever the case may be. He doesn't really have that many, nowhere close, because every one of his supporters has like 30, 40, 50 of these bot accounts. So they're all subscribed to LeBron James. They're all following LeBron James. That's how he gets his fraudulent popularity numbers. That's why when you go out in your town, go out right now tonight on a Friday night, ain't no one rocking LeBron James sneakers. No one's rocking LeBron James jerseys. You go to the mall on a weekend, no one's wearing LeBron James stuff. No one's rocking his gear. No one's like, yo, man, you're going to get those new LeBrons. No one's rocking this stuff. No one's proud to represent LeBron James. No true fan thinks LeBron James is that great. No one does, because LeBron James' popularity ain't like that. Who gets booed at a Super Bowl? LeBron James does. Yo, think about this, guys. LeBron James got booed at a Super Bowl that Tony Romo called, what's his name? Patrick Mahomes, the Michael Jordan of quarterbacks. Like, dude, it's insane when you think about this stuff.
Pretty insane. You got some real weirdos in the comments. I'm just going to start ignoring it.
But these people are coming from your platform.
No. The people that have named,
I can't take them out. These are your people.
No way.
Listen,
the people that name themselves after you
can't come to my channel with that weird stuff, because those
name themselves after you.
I tried to get one of the weird dudes out, but I couldn't because it's not on my channel.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. The one that says sports and fitness lies, I thought for sure had to be on your channel.
No, that was coming from your platform.
No, come on.
They love to cross over.
Oh, man.
Because they know I can't touch them off the crossover.
Oh, shit.
Well, I told you, when people put weird things like that, like I said, I like leaving that stuff there a lot of times, because all that does is expose these people. I mean, some of the things that they were saying, I mean, this dude was talking about my wife. Like, what are we doing here? We're talking about my wife now? How did my wife get involved in this stuff? What my wife got to do with this stuff? But these are the same people that say they want to be LeBron James' wife. They want to trade places with LeBron James' wife. Maybe they want to trade places with my wife. Listen, guys, I'm not into that kind of stuff. I am not into that. All right? I'm happily married to a woman, and that's all I want, and that's all I need. Don't be weird.
Okay. All right. Did we finish? I feel like I had so much more to say about Kevin Durant, but I feel pretty.
Did you get it out? Did you get out the Kevin Durant rant? Did you get it out?
I think I got it out. I just can't believe how these guys immediately dodge a question and play the victim. Just answer the question.
No, but wait, like we said, when his comments really speak to a broader problem and a greater problem, like you said, not only the main point, the All-Star game, but what Kevin Durant's doing in that moment, passing off the accountability from himself, from the other great players like a LeBron James, like a Steph Curry, a Kawhi Leonard, a Russell Westbrook, a James Harden, a Paul George, and all those guys should be taking some kind of accountability as the great players, the American players that were supposed to carry the game into the 2020s. Like we said, Luka Doncic and Nikola Jokic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, a lot of these foreigners, the Europeans, they're 2020s guys. They're supposed to be taking the game forward from what those guys were leaving them. That's why we mentioned before, when the guys, the great players came in, they knew what the standard was when they came to the All-Star game, because those guys upheld it. I've heard people, we've talked over the last several years about the All-Star, making the All-Star game. Like, oh, you made an All-Star team. Like, what does that mean on your overall resume? And over the last several years, we've talking about how being an All-Star on your resume doesn't carry the same weight as it used to, right? And part of the reason is because of the overall lack of competitiveness in the game, but also because of the players that are in the league and how they approach the game, how many games they miss now, what they choose to do, when we're watching them play. So back in the day, if you made an All-Star team and you only made one, it was like, damn, How'd you end up cracking in an all-star team in the 90s? You were able to get in there once or twice during that time because it was very competitive to try to stay in the all-star appearances back in the day. It wasn't a meaningless thing back then. So now you don't get that. And Kevin Durant is a big reason why. And for him to act as if, it's someone else's problem or it's someone else's fault. And then on top of that, some of the Kevin Durant fans saying that he's just trolling and then you're trying to give him a pass. To me, that's unacceptable.
Yeah, very unacceptable. I was thinking about, the all NBA inclusions are becoming more and more meaningless the longer LeBron James is around and keeps being gifted things, despite being the only person in the negatives to be named to an all NBA team in like the last 30 years or something. But, these guys, it seems to matter to them to be an all-star or an all NBA player, but then they complain about having to play during that week like they deserve another vacation. And I was curious if the NBA had an all NBA team, you played another game, not just the All-Star game, but you had to play a game if you got named as an all NBA. Would they start complaining about that one too? Would it no longer matter to them? Do they only care about continuing to be named to an all NBA team because they don't have to show up to anything to get that naming?
Yeah. Man, listen. I mean, God damn it. I mean,
I know I went on a weird direction there.
No, but I'm just saying, I don't even understand sometimes, where we are. I don't even know where we are. Like when you listen, like I said, when you listen to Kevin Durant say what he says, you see some of the things that are celebrated. You see how LeBron James is being celebrated for triple-double. Some of the lives and some of the things that we've talked about. And yet still, we have people in the chat who seem to think that what we're saying is like we're just making this stuff up. Like they're not saying this or they're not doing these things. And that, apparently they don't have a problem with the All-Star game. Like I said, we're the problem. Me and you are the problem. That's why I said I'm confused. We're the problem here. The way that we're thinking the All-Star game should be, apparently we're way off on this. That's not how the All-Star game should be. But I tell you guys right now, and like you've shown many times, AOH, you are the czar of the video footage, and you just highlighted beautifully, what was that, the 97 All-Star game that you were showing the other day I saw? And when I took a screenshot when I was watching that, and Michael Jordan had a scowl on his face before the game even started. This man looked like he was getting ready to get the tip-off for Game 7 of the finals. And I was like, I took a screenshot. I was like, yo, I got to take a picture of this and share this. And that's Michael Jordan's face before an all-star game. This man looked like he was furious.
I only used the first period and a half before I got enough footage to make my point. I didn't even get to the more intense parts of the game. And it was still enough to show how much more intense it was than a regular season game. It's stupid to even try to compare it to a current all-star game.
Exactly.
Well, okay, Let me ask you, has this division, world versus USA thing got you interested to see if it'll make them compete? You actually going to watch it?
If I watch the All-Star game, it's strictly for YouTube purposes. That's it. It would strictly be so I can create content off of it, because I know there's going to be a bunch of content creatable moments during this All-Star weekend. The one thing that was interesting to me when they announced this is how many world players do you really have that are all-stars? Because yeah, we all know about the Giannis's and the Jokic's and the Doncic's and SGA. We know about some of these guys, but really, how deep is the world? And what you saw is that there's 2 USA teams and 1 world team. So apparently, there's nowhere near the amount of players to, like I said, fill out the rosters that the American players were able to fill out. So that to me is a little bit interesting or weird to me, because you have 2 USA teams. You have a Team USA Stripes and Team USA stars, if I remember correctly. Like, what kind of nonsense is that? I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, how am I supposed to get happy? I don't give a damn. Oh, listen, I'm saying it again, damn it. I'm going to say it freaking again. All I want is East versus freaking West, man. That's all I want to see is the East versus the West. And I want to see guys matter that they and care that they're in the East, and guys care that they're in the West, and understand that there's supposed to be a freaking rivalry there. There's supposed to be some kind of animosity. You're supposed to have some pride in your conference. But you know why we don't have that? Because every other freaking year, this guy goes from the East, he goes to the West. This guy goes from the West, this guy goes to the East. This guy goes from this team, he goes to that team. There is no more pride in the conference. There is no more that. That's all I want. That's all we want. Is that too much to ask? My goodness, they call me a hater. All I want is East versus West, guys. What the hell's wrong with that? All I want to see is guys foul out. All I want to see is guys try to block a shot. I want to see guys get an elbow. I want to see guys sweating. I want to see guys sprinting. I watched the entire freaking All-Star game of 2024. I did not see a single player sprint. Not a single sprint. It was a jog out there. A fast jog.
Yeah, I got to tell you, the All-Star game, as it existed, East-West, simply doesn't exist anymore. Like, people keep talking about saving it. No, it's already gone. We've been watching something else for a long time. It's been a picking your teammates thing. It wasn't, it hasn't been East versus West for quite some time. Team LeBron versus Team Giannis, Team Steph versus Team LeBron, not East and West. But they must still make a shitload of money from it because Adam Silver won't move on. I guess that's what it is, because the players complain about it. The fans complain about it. Why are they hanging on to it? It's got to be money, right?
Yep.
Although I don't know who's going to watch. Well, okay, we've got the division thing. I got to tell you, I'm almost curious to watch. I'm almost curious to see how rigged it is, because the two American teams against the other teams is already pretty stacked on the American side. I'm a little. Are we actually going to see controversial reffing in All-Star games?
Well, there you go. That would be something great right there. You uplift the standard of officiating, right? You scrutinize the officiating standard more, and all of a sudden now you force these guys to make the adjustments. They're the most skilled players of all time. They're the most skilled era, right? They should be able to make those adjustments. So if you increase the officiating standard, that would help the All-Star game. I told you they call travels, carries in the All-Star game, all of this stuff. Hold the standard more, and then we won't have these issues that we're always going to have the issues unless these guys change a bunch of things. But the officiating standard is one thing that they can use to change the approach of these players. But ultimately, I'm curious to see now that Kevin Durant called out Luka Doncic and Jokic by name, the Europeans overall. Now I'm interested to see if them in particular, if they're going to take it personal, if they're going to go out there and do something to Kevin Durant. Because once again, where's their pride at? I would love to see Nikola Jokic getting Kevin Durant's face. I would love to see Nikola Jokic hard foul Kevin Durant in an All-Star game. Because you know what you'd get in the 90s? If someone was running their mouth like that, you're going to get that in the 90s All-Star game. Oh, you're going to run your mouth? Okay. When you come up in here, I'm going to give you something. I want to see Jokic lay Kevin Durant out. Kevin Durant, bring yourself up in that paint. Nikola Jokic, where you at? Show me something, Nikola Jokic. I want to see Luka Doncic go try to play defense against Kevin Durant. Is Luka Doncic even playing? We don't even know.
You know what I might like even more is to have Giannis lay out Durant. Just remove the tension of the white guy laying out Durant. Just let Giannis do it, because hey, everybody, Giannis is on Team World.
Yep. I mean, listen, Wembanyama said that he was going to take it serious. So let me see what Wembanyama's going to do. Is Wembanyama going to lead the charge? Is he going to be the guy to lead the world team? Like I said, go out there and hard foul somebody. Go out there and be, yo, you want to run your mouth about the Europeans? Whereas then that will make it entertaining. If it's a legit American pride versus European pride in an NBA All-Star game, and dudes are elbowing, dudes are throwing shoulders, dudes are getting nose to nose. If I'm getting that, I'll watch that. But I guarantee you, we ain't gonna get that.
Maybe this was the natural evolution. As the world got smaller, everybody's connected now. There's more people playing basketball. Maybe eventually East versus West was going to mean the United States West versus East being Europe, except that, of course, it's not limited to Europe. But you're going to have East versus West again, just not the one you're used to.
Word, for real. Yo, I'm like, hold on, let me read off some of these supers here. Yo, shout out to Terrence Potts. Kevin and DEI James both boo those chumps. DEI James. Oh, that's hilarious, man. That's funny, man. These guys. Yo, shout out to Praise the Don. Why is the Peanut Head Skeletor buffoon KD always acting tough. He wasn't tough when Fish Breath Draymond got in his face with those two rings.
Wow.
Exactly. But once again, Kevin Durant got all the energy for the fans, all the energy for everybody on X, but he ain't had no energy for Draymond Green when it really mattered most. He didn't have no energy for Russell Westbrook when it mattered most. Shout out to Tony 0785 for coming through. How come Blake Griffin is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer and Sean Kemp is not a Hall of Famer? But Sean Kemp had way more playoff success than Blake Griffin. That's a great super. Yo, shout out to Tony. I hope you're still there in the chat because this was like an hour ago, man. We're like so way behind on the supers there because we've been rambling on. That's a great one because I would put Sean Kemp in the Hall of Fame before Blake Griffin. And I'm not trying to argue whether Blake Griffin deserves to be in the Hall of Fame or not. But to me, Sean Kemp, I mean, when you think about what he was doing, his peak, definitely to me was more impressive than Blake Griffin. Oh man, we got everybody out here joining talking about what's going on here. But I thought that was a great super by Tony. Once again, with the Blake Griffin being a Hall of Famer, but Sean Kemp is not a Hall of Famer yet. And we all know that Sean Kemp, the latter part of his career got a little bit derailed. But I think definitely that Sean Kemp should have. I mean, especially if Draymond Green gets in the Hall of Fame, Sean Kemp got to get in. Yo, shout out to It's Not That Serious.
Go ahead. Keep going through the supers.
But do you think that Sean Kemp should be a Hall of Famer if Draymond Green gets in?
Oh, yeah. I think maybe it was The Odd Couple or another show was going through some of the names of guys who aren't Hall of Famers and now guys who are going to be, and they're being named to it. I'm like, oh, man, come on now.
Yep.
Yeah, there was a time where I thought not everyone can be a Hall of Famer, except that you're putting these guys in. Apparently everyone can be a Hall of Famer. So no, you can't leave these other guys out. Absolutely. Sean Kemp should be in there first.
Absolutely, man. Shout out to my man AOH. He knows the deal. It's Not That Serious says KD was high as a kite. I guess it gave him courage to say that nonsense. Once again, I don't even know what Kevin Durant don't know what he's saying. Kevin Durant thinks he's always saying something that's cool and he's smarter than everybody else in the room. He's like I said, he's an idiot. Shout out to Heath Overledger coming through with the super. For the both of you, what are your favorite 3 All-Star games and why? Shout out to Heath Overledger. Do you have a favorite All-Star game, AOH?
I haven't decided. Yeah, but I feel obligated to go back and watch them all so that I can answer that in a honest manner.
I mean, I always bring up 1992, so I won't bring that up, but that was always the one that I always remembered the most. Like to me, it's like I said, when Magic Johnson came back. But anyway, but I think obviously Michael Jordan's last one, the Wizards. I think that 2003 All-Star game was pretty good because of the ending and how it went down into the overtime, and like I said, the shot that we thought was going to be the game winner, and the vibe, knowing that was Michael Jordan's last All-Star game. But I think 98 was a really good All-Star game also when you had, like I said, a young Kobe Bryant. And I mentioned that in my video and how Kobe Bryant added to the All-Star game in that moment as a young player. And that's what we talk about, adding to the All-Star game. And how did Kobe Bryant add to the All-Star game as a young player in 1998 is that he added to the All-Star game because of his competitive nature, the competitive fire inside of him. So you remember that scene with Michael Jordan and, Dikembe Mutombo, all these guys, they're in the training room there and they're talking before the All-Star game, and they bring up the young kid from LA. That young kid from LA who's going to go out there and try to go one-on-one with everybody. That's what Michael Jordan was saying. And what was Michael Jordan talking about? He was talking about how he was going to force all of them to have to raise their level of play because he was going to come after them and bring it out there. So that's how you add to the All-Star game. Kobe Bryant didn't go out there and chuck up a bunch of weird shots and play a weird game and goof up the All-Star game. He added to the All-Star game. That's what a lot of those guys did. So I think there's been a lot of great memories, All-Star games. Like I said, some of the All-Star games in the late 80s, like 88, 89, those are really good All-Star games, man. Like I said, to me, all the All-Star games in the 90s were pretty much, like I said, all fantastic. That's why it's hard to say you just got one All-Star game or my top three. But like I said, I think that's the problem now is that we look back at some of these games. I mean, go back now, guys, and watch some of the All-Star games from the 80s and the 90s, the times that we're talking about. Guys, I mean, my goodness, man, it's insane. Insane. 93 was great.
93 was great.
Yeah. 93 was really great, man. Like I said, 1990 was really good. Charles Barkley was crazy in 1990. I mean, like I said, they were just so. And if you remember too, the uniforms are during the All-Star games. You even remember a lot of the uniforms from these All-Star games, the moments. And like I said, that stuff added to the All-Star game weekend. The swag of the All-Star game, the uniforms, all that stuff, man. It really did. Once again, oh, wait, did I miss that one? Shout out to Davion. We need the gang back together. You two, Uncommon Sense, Uncut, 93 Zay, Dreamers Pro, Steam Engine, 2 Raw, and the rest. I miss y'all on Sundays cooking the NBA. Yeah, shout out to Davion for coming through with the super. Yeah, it would be great to have a panel on a Sunday or one of these days, have a show with an Uncommon Sense on there again. It's always good to have Uncommon Sense on and listen to what he has to say, bring his point of views. We've always tried to get Uncut Hoops to join me and AOH on these shows. I don't believe that Uncut Hoops does live shows. I don't believe that's anything that he would ever be interested in. But he has stopped through our live shows in the chat before and contributed that way. We all appreciate what Uncut Hoops does. 93 Zay. Yeah, I haven't heard or seen 93 Zay in a minute. You guys know he's blowing up doing his thing. So shout out to my man Zay and all the success he's having on his channel. Once again, Charles of the Dreamers Pro. Speem, we had Speem, what was that, last week? Speem did a show with us. So it was great to have Speem come back and join us on there. Like I said, it means a lot that you guys continue to support us for real. Shout out to M. Hunter Stevie, member for 3 months. Shout out to you. Eddie TV came through. Shout out to Eddie TV.
Right.
I see he came through. Shout out to Love Them Skins. It's all the Lacan's feet. Remember that he the king, and they all follow in LeClown. He took the lead and wants to be respected, but hasn't earned it, so it's on him. Cook him. Yo, shout out to Love Them Skins. You run the money. It always falls on LeBron James. They all remember Kevin Durant doesn't have the vision to make that move if LeBron James don't make that move. So that's why I found it very interesting that you have someone like Max Kellerman trying to downplay Kevin Durant's championships, but then promote LeBron James championships when Kevin Durant would have never made that move to get those championships the way he did if LeBron James didn't make the move that he did. Shout out to ATV, says salute, fellas. Shout out to Mick Zuggins for coming through. Numbers don't lie. LBJ so great, his fans don't watch him play. Exactly. He's so popular, no one buys his stuff. So popular, he gets booed everywhere he goes. Shout out to Gundam U. Do I have to go to AOH's channel to super? Anyways, more power to you guys for watching this garbage of a product.
Yes, you do.
Yes, absolutely. Shout out to Rise Above Anything. Sean Kemp was a monster, Hall of Famer for sure. Absolutely. You guys know these are the facts. I told you, if they open the door to Draymond Green, if they open that door, man, a lot of people got to start walking through that door. A lot of people. Amari Stoudemire, Tom Chambers. There was just so many guys. I'm putting Buck Williams in there. If Draymond Green, everybody got to go in there. And I told you, Steve Kerr thinks this man deserves a statue. What?
Oh,
We're
yeah.
talking about a jersey retirement, a statue, and a Hall of Fame for Draymond freaking Green. And you want to tell me that Michael Jordan's era is weak? Michael Jordan's era is so great that a lot of those guys that we mentioned played in Michael Jordan's era, and they're not in the Hall of Fame because they weren't viewed that way. But Draymond Green in this era, the LeBron James era that we just went through, he was viewed as a superstar, all-time legend. He would not even make the league in the 90s, but now he's a legend. Wow.
Yeah, you can imagine how hard it is to be a Warriors fan, which I'm not anymore. Sorry, guys. I just can't do it anymore.
A legend. A damn legend.
Move on.
He's a damn legend, man. Yo, shout out to Jesse Gladsack for coming through. Draymond Green deserves a statue outside of the bricks. I promise school. For sabotaging Steph's career. Oh, that's a great comment. Shout out to my man, the Jesse Gladsack. That's actually pretty damn funny. Oh, that's funny as hell. How you doing, AOH? You good, man? Is anything else you want to get out?
No, I keep going over to my channel, and I don't see the trolls on my YouTube feed. I see them here inside of StreamYard. So I think that means they're on your channel.
Well, anytime I try to click on these things, it tells me the commenters on your guest. I can tell when someone's on from your side of things. But like I said, it doesn't even matter. Like I said, it's really funny. Like I said, every once in a while, you get these streams. Well, listen. But like I said, what's really weird to me is that you get like these people who make these fake channels, these fake accounts, and they want to talk about my wife, and like it's really weird. Like I don't even know like how we get to this point. But like I said, I'm thank you very much, guys. I'm flattered, and I'm really in, but I'm not into dudes. I'm not into that. I know you guys want to trade places with my wife, but I'm not into guys like that. All right, maybe LeBron James will let you guys trade places with Savannah James. Maybe you guys could, trade places with her for a night, like an indecent proposal type of deal. But I'm not into dudes, man. I keep telling these guys are so invested in me. They stalk me. Guys, listen, I said, if you're into guys, it's cool. I don't knock people's lifestyles. That's great for you. I'm not into guys, man. And I said, I'm not trading my wife for any of y'all. I'm not doing it. So you guys can keep talking about my wife, but I'm not trading her for you guys, man. So I'm good over here. And listen, it's Valentine's Day tomorrow. Why don't y'all go find somebody? I mean, I said,
I mean, could they sound any more like a LeBron person? Yeah, you're right. You should. He's trying to get you to come to his crib. Maybe he is into you.
I mean, think about it, guys. They actually have content out here. They actually have content out here where they ask LeBron James fans, guys. I mean, I want you guys to think about something. If you're walking down the street, I'm gonna speak for myself here, AOH. Okay, I'm walking down the street out in town somewhere, and I'm minding my business. Right, I'm just walking down the street, minding my business, man. I don't know. I'm going to the gas station. I'm going somewhere. Walking down the street, man. Someone walks up to me with a microphone, and they say, "Hey, do you mind if we ask you a couple of questions? We have a YouTube channel, or we have this podcast, or whatever it is. Do you mind if we ask you a couple of questions?" Yeah, no doubt. What's it about? Oh, it's about, the NBA. All right, yeah, cool. And I'm standing there, and they put a microphone in front of my face, and the first question they ask me is, would I trade places with LeBron James' wife? If that's what they ask me, there's a couple of things that's going to happen after I'm asked this question. Either I'm just going to walk the hell off and I'm not going to answer the question. There's no need for me to answer this question because this is a ridiculous freaking question. Or there might be some altercation that happens either verbally or physically, because I'm going to be offended that you would ask me, a grown-ass man, if I would trade places with a woman to be with another man. I would be offended by that. So if you ask me that question, that's what's going to happen. Now, I would probably walk away because, like I said, I don't want to get arrested or anything like that. I'm brown. You can't be doing crazy things when you're brown out here. You can't be touching people and grabbing people when you're brown. You got to make sure you're following the rules and the laws of society. But I would be offended by this. But no, not LeBron James fans. Nope. They will happily answer that question. They'll give you a whole scenario. They'll be like, yeah, I got the bed sheets all picked out. I got the wine bottle that I want to bring to the house with me. I got the outfit picked out I would wear to LeBron James' house. I got my underwear picked out. I go get my booty hole waxed for LeBron James. Go get my booty hole bleached. They'll do all this stuff for LeBron James.
It's time for me to go. You made your point.
You know I got the facts. That's what they do. They take the time to answer these questions.
Yeah, I don't know why everyone should be offended by that sort of questioning. It's disturbing that there's an entire population of people that don't have a problem with that. Anyway, speaking of Valentine's Day, we should wrap this up.
That's right. Once again, man, it is Valentine's Day tomorrow, AOH. That's a great point you brought up that we mentioned. So once again, happy Valentine's Day to anyone out there, your significant others, whatever it is. Maybe you got a pet, that you really care about. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. Like I said, if you got a woman or a husband, like I said, whatever it is, go do something nice. You know what I'm saying? Go say something nice to them. Let them know you care about them. The LeBron James fans, let LeBron James know you care about him. Go make him another song, right? Go write him another poem, right? Go take another picture with your clothes off. You know what I'm saying? And go put your bed sheets on and do whatever you guys do. I don't know what you do. AOH.
It's a candlelight dinner with the LeBron dolls. I mean, those are real. What world are we living in? Jimmy James, thanks for that last minute super. And thank you, Robin. Have a good one, man. I'll see you next time.
You guys know the deal, man. Shout out to all you guys out there, man. Once again, I appreciate all you guys coming through. You guys know the deal, man. You guys enjoy the rest of your weekend, man. I might try to do a live show on Sunday. We'll see. I might try to do a live on Sunday. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like I said, you guys be careful out there. Friday the 13th. Be careful. It gets dangerous. Enjoy it. You guys know the deal, man. I get you guys on